Bayer Leverkusen sporting managing director Simon Rolfs has praised Machekover after the goalkeeper joined from Man United. Machekover is big, strong in one-on-ones and is very good with his feet, Rolfs told club media. He's a player with great prospects and we have high hopes for him in the coming years. The exodus continues at Carrington as United Chiefs look to offload several more players before the transfer window slams shut. A number of big names have already been moved on this summer, with Fred the latest high-profile departure. Now the Manchester Evening News reports the United hierarchy want to sell at least 3 more players before the deadline. Eric Bailey, Brandon Williams and Donny van der Beek are deemed surplus to requirements, while Anthony Martial and Harry Maguire could also be moved on if United receive adequate bids. Erik ten Hag has hinted he could keep Dean Henderson at Old Trafford despite interest from Nottingham Forest in a permanent transfer. United's number 2 spent last season on loan at the City ground and is keen to return in order to secure regular action, something he is unlikely to get behind new signing Andre Onana. But after United sold youngster Machekover to Bayer Leverkusen, and with Tom Heaton currently out injured, it seems Henderson may be kept on the club's books. He was always in my mind, Ten Hag said of Henderson, when asked if he was likely to stay, via newsSky. So I think we have a strong keeper group with Onana, Henderson, Tom, Heaton. Rio Ferdinand has warned Erik ten Hag against pursuing a deal for Everton midfielder Amadou Onana as he fears a transfer could backfire. Ten Hag is keen to sign another midfielder before the transfer window closes on September 1st, with Fiorentina's Sofiane Amrabat currently the prime candidate likely to arrive at Old Trafford. United had new signing Mason Mount make his debut against Wolves for their Premier League opener on Monday night, though their midfield came in for criticism after the match. Gary Neville commented on United's display, claiming Casemiro had been torn to shreds in the middle of the park, and suggested Amrabat's signing would eradicate a repeat of the problem going forward. Toffee's star Onana is another player who United's recruitment team have identified as a potential target, though Ferdinand has urged his old club against a move. Erik ten Hag is unlikely to sign Benjamin Pavard from Bayern Munich if Harry Maguire remains a Manchester United player. Maguire's proposed transfer to West Ham has stalled because United are struggling to agree a payoff with the Englishman, who has 2 years left on his contract. He currently earns around £190,000 a week and the Hammers are unwilling to match that salary. As such, United will need to agree a payoff with the 30-year-old or continue to pay a chunk of his salary for the move to go ahead. It's believed he could be owed £10 million in wages. Ten Hag is happy for Maguire to stay at Old Trafford and fight for his place, which will derail Pavard's proposed transfer. United are thought to have held talks with the France international, 27, but are unable to afford him unless there are outgoings first. Erik ten Hag has told Harry Maguire to prove his worth at Manchester United, with the defender's transfer move to West Ham currently off. Maguire had been set to join the Hammers after the two clubs struck a £30 million deal, only for the transfer to stall because of continued discussions between United and the England international over his payoff. West Ham are now focusing on alternative targets ahead of deadline day on September 1st after growing impatient while waiting for Maguire, who'd agreed personal terms. Back at Old Trafford, Ten Hag is weighing up the prospect of having the 30-year-old in his squad until at least the January transfer window. The Dutch boss has already told Maguire what he needs to do in order to have a future at United. Speaking ahead of the Red Devils' unconvincing 1-0 win at home to Wolves on Monday, Ten Hag explained, "For Harry, that is just how I described it. He has to fight for his place." Lisandro Martinez was substituted at halftime against Wolves due to a problem with his ankle, rather than for being on a yellow card, it has been revealed. And it could mean the Argentine may miss the trip to Tottenham next week. However, quotes that have oddly been attributed to both Erik ten Hag and Raphael Varane by other outlets tried to calm any nerves by insisting the issue was not a big deal. After the 1-0 win over Wolves, it was said, Martinez has a little problem on his ankle tendon. We'll see, but I don't think it's a big deal. We'll see how he is this week. Despite the controversial circumstances in which his debut ended, Andre Onana generally fared very well on his Premier League bow. The 27-year-old was brought in to offer United a better passing range out of the back, and based off his passing map, that is exactly what he did against Wolves. While United's attack and midfield were largely toothless, Onana helped to ensure they were under less pressure via high turnovers from passes upfield, a frequent occurrence under David De Gea. Gary Neville has slammed Casemiro for getting torn to shreds against Wolves. Casemiro was largely left isolated in midfield during United's 1-0 win over Wolves. And following a performance which drew heavy criticism of the United midfield, the Brazilian was singled out for criticism by Neville. The United legend told Sky Sports, "They are trying to sign, or were trying to sign, Sofyan Amrabat, we believe, to go in there alongside Casemiro. I don't know who Erik ten Hag would drop, but they want to buy Sofyan Amrabat for a reason. One thing that Erik ten Hag is not going to do is go back to the likes of Fred and Scott McTominay, who he believes are technically not good enough on the ball. He wants everybody in the team to be able to accept the football and receive it. Sofyan Amrabat coming in, he is a passer of the ball and can sit in there alongside Casemiro. Casemiro got absolutely torn to shreds tonight. Man U's midfield were non-existent and they were absolutely ripped apart. Wolves were absolutely fantastic. Manchester United's midfield was non-existent, it emptied. That would have been a real worry for Erik ten Hag. Wolves were brilliant tonight, they had everything but a goal. Manchester United were outplayed and can feel very fortunate to come away with 3 points because they didn't deserve it.